Hi guys, welcome back to Too Cool for Middle School. I'm doing a really fun collab today with one of my internet friends, Kate the Sleepy Teacher. Seriously you guys, I've gotten to online meet so many cool people this summer, and that is really one of the best things about YouTube and Instagram is you just find all these people who you have so much in common with. Like most of the time when I start talking to somebody either just like on Instagram or YouTube or whatever that's a fellow teacher, like we find out that we have so much in common. And Kate and I have worked in like some of the same districts but just like at different times, but we did them like in the same order. As we were like talking and getting to know each other, it was so weird. We're like, oh my gosh, we lived like parallel lives. We both teach in Southern California now, but we're like a couple hours away from each other. So she has a really cool channel where she is doing this series of advice for teachers, and it's like the ABCs of teaching. So for every letter of the alphabet, she's giving you advice about one topic. So I think like A was administration, B was balance, and she's been teaching for quite a while, so she has the knowledge that she can impart to you, which is so great. It's awesome when veteran teachers are willing to reach out to younger teachers or newer teachers and share what they've learned along the way. So she's all the way up to the letter M, and I totally wanted to snag the letter M for Megan, and I was trying to think of which word I should use that started with M, and can you guess what I went with? I feel like as soon as I thought of this, I was like, oh, duh, that's what I have to do. So I'm doing M for music. Some of you might know that I started my teaching career as a music teacher. That was my first major when I went to college. I was a music major, but I did not end up sticking with that. That is like the hardest major of all time. But my job in college was teaching piano lessons and teaching voice lessons at this music studio. I taught there for 9 years, I think. So there were students who I had when they were in kindergarten, and I taught them all the way up until they left for high school. So that was a huge part of my life. That's literally how I paid all of my bills and all of my tuition and everything in college. And it's what made me fall in love with teaching and realize that that is what I wanted to do every day. So I am a huge proponent of music education. I think that taking piano lessons or taking voice lessons or guitar lessons is so great for kids. There's never going to be a time in your life where you look back and say, I wish I didn't know how to play the piano. But people always regret not learning. They always regret, you know, quitting piano when they were in middle school or whatever. I actually quit my piano lessons when I got into high school and got really busy, and I wish that I had stuck with it, but I, you know, jumped back into it in college and then kept teaching piano. So I'm so glad that that's a part of my life. And there are so many studies that show that music helps with math skills, helps with reasoning skills. Even just the discipline of going home and practicing what your teacher taught you is amazing. It's so awesome teaching individual piano lessons. I think that like really helped hone my teaching skills because I had to tailor everything individually to a particular student and their learning style. I came up with rewards. I had a huge sticker collection, which, you know, made me really happy anyway. I had to interact with parents every single lesson, so I was really used to giving parents updates and stuff like that. So on just like the music education side, like private lessons, I think that will never be a mistake. That's always going to be worthwhile if you can do that. I'm such a proponent of music classes at school as well, if kids can join band, choir. I taught choir at my last school. I also taught drama where we did musical theater, and it is just such a special like skill and experience. It's such a cool thing to teach kids. It's so creative. You have to work together if you're playing as an ensemble or, you know, putting on a production. So it teaches teamwork in the best possible way. You need everybody else to do well in order for you to look good. So you're constantly building each other up and helping each other out. I am definitely a huge proponent of music in public schools, but then at the same time, I don't teach music anymore. I teach English and history, but I think that you should always incorporate music into your class as much as you can. Any time that I can use a song to help kids remember something, I do it. The easiest way to do this is just to have a vocabulary subscription. I know I talk about vocabulary all the time, but I love it. I've been using it for years, and they use rap to teach all kinds of skills. There are videos for grammar, literature, math, science, study skills, history, everything you could think of. I have not even seen probably like a quarter of the videos that they have on their site, but I use them all the time. And it's so cool to see kids, you know, like walking out of class still singing like #1, freedom of religion, speech, and press. And you're like, yes, okay, you're gonna remember that now. It's stuck in your head. We can remember song lyrics like nobody's business, but then ask us to remember something for a test and we're like, I don't know how I found this, but a couple years ago, like whenever I teach westward expansion and Lewis and Clark, these kids in like a high school class made this video about Sacagawea, and it's like pretty good content wise, but it's so cringy. Lewis and Clark, Sacagawea, Sacagawea. And my kids can never get that song out of their heads. It's so funny, but I love what those kids did. They just took content and then turned it into a song and really showed their understanding. So anytime that you can allow kids to, you know, turn their knowledge into a song, I think that is an excellent idea. There's also another video I really like. It's a parody of Apologize by One Republic, but it's from like the colonists to the British government, and they just kind of change all of the words, like, too late to apologize. And it's all these guys in like their wigs and everything. It's hilarious and it totally gets the point across. So when I taught US history, I always showed that video, and then I would have my students write a breakup letter from the colonists to King George, but they had to pick some kind of a breakup song that was popular at the time. So I think last time everybody picked like Taylor Swift, we are never ever ever getting back together, and they like change all of the lyrics and turn it into a breakup song, and they have to, you know, include all of their knowledge in the song. So I think that's a great idea. I think then I just had them turn in their lyric sheet to me, and they had to say like, you know, what song it was to the tune of, and I could kind of picture it as I was reading it. If they did it live in front of the class, they got like a ton of extra credit, but not everyone did that. I think now I could maybe have them do it on like a flip grid, or just make a video of themselves in some way. Like you can find the karaoke version of almost any song online now, and then add your own lyrics. So with added technology, you can get even more creative with this. The other 6th grade history teacher and I were talking about how when we get to Confucianism and Taoism, we want them to make a song parody about that. So I'm really excited for that unit. I just think any way that you can incorporate music, that is awesome. And of course, ever since Lin-Manuel Miranda performed his original version of Alexander Hamilton at the White House, I've been showing that video to my US history students even before the musical Hamilton came out. And Hamilton is my obsession, and it's like the ultimate way to convey historical information through hip-hop, through Broadway. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If you have not listened to the Hamilton soundtrack yet, I mean, clearly you haven't been watching my videos or listening to my advice. I have Hamilton stuff all over my classroom, and on YouTube you can do clean version because there are some cuss words in it. Some of them are just in context though, like he was a bastard orphan son of a whore, like he was. There aren't too many other ways to say that. So that would be my encouragement to you as a teacher who has a little bit of experience. This is my 6th year, and any time that I incorporate music into a lesson, it always pays off. It always helps students to retain information better and understand information better, and just have like something to cling to if they're confused about other pieces of the lesson. At least they have that song. And asking them to do music just results in the coolest projects. It's so much better than having to read 185 essays. I'd much rather listen to 185 songs. And then hey, pair them up and then you cut your grading in half. So thank you so much to Kate the Sleepy Teacher for asking me to collab with her on this. I was happy to do it. I want to draw as much attention to her ABCs of teaching as I can. They're usually pretty short and sweet, just one letter at a time. I probably went on for too long, but I'm not sure what she's doing for her M yet. She was trying to decide the other day, so I can't wait to see what she decided. Go watch her video and get some more tips on the letter M. It's like Sesame Street, see? It's so cool. Oh my gosh, do you guys remember those Bill Nye videos, like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and then at the end they would always do a parody of some kind of a song and then turn it into a science thing? See, I totally remember those. Schoolhouse Rock, rock. That's the stuff that I remember from school, is the songs. So leave a comment below for all of our benefit. Let us know what kind of songs you use in your classroom. There are just endless ways to use music in your classroom, endless benefits. So clearly I could talk about this forever. I'm not going to. I'm gonna be done. Go check out Kate. Thank you so much, Kate, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!